It's my pleasure to welcome in Anthony Price, the publisher of CT Hoops magazine. Here it is. This is the first issue. We have a good shot of that. Anthony, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
When you look at this, you must be so proud.
Absolutely, I'm proud that we were able to publish it, but Jim Calhoun, the first issue right out the gate is just historic in my view, just knowing how much Jim Calhoun has done for the state of Connecticut and basketball throughout the country.
Why was it important to you to put Jim Calhoun on the cover of this?
He's probably arguably the most recognizable basketball figure in Connecticut and probably New England. And just the long legacy of what he was able to do here in Connecticut in terms of starting out in 1986 in farm country and stores and building the program to where it is today, where it competes for a national championship every year.
This is a great picture, too. Can we take another look at that? Where did this picture come from, Jim Calhoun?
So that was at the University of St. Joseph's, which was his last stop before he retired, and that's actually in his office at the University of St. Joe's. He has this beautiful window that overlooks the court where he used to oversee the basketball team, and he was in his element. He was at home.
What did you learn about him putting his article in particular together?
Well, just the fieriness of him. He's always was very passionate about the game. He still loves the game. He's getting up there in years, but he's still just as passionate about the game. But in many ways, he's more relaxed because he doesn't have the pressure that he used to have on him when he coached. But just all the different great stories that he'll tell you about the players that he's coached, all the guys that are in the NBA, and just the relationships he has with the players right now. Players call him on a regular basis or former players for all kinds of situations. Even current coaches call him now. So just talking to a guy that's just so connected to basketball was really exciting.
Where is he at in his life right now when he talks to these coaches who are reaching out to him, these players who he once recruited and are now living their own lives? Where is he at right now in his life?
Well, he's at a place of happiness. He's healthy. He's able to see his grandkids. He has a number of grandkids. He's able to be a mentor to many coaches who are, working on, moving up to the highest level in basketball in terms of wins. So I think he's at peace with what he's been able to accomplish at UConn. He's always been in the University of St. Joseph's. He's always been a person that loves to give back, and I think he's really happy that he's in a position where he can give back without all the pressures of the media and everything like that on a regular basis.
All right, so let's talk about this magazine as a whole. What are the challenges that come with putting a magazine like this together?
Well, first, getting the stories. So I was able to work with the University of St. Joseph's, their athletic director. Amanda was able to get me in touch with Coach Calhoun, and then once I got in touch with him and spoke with him a number of times, I knew that this could be a great story, as well as we interviewed Maya Sliz, who's a player at the University of St. Joseph's. He plays on the women's team. And then Kazell Stewart, I was able to talk to in this particular issue. His coach is Scott Burrell, former great UConn player. And so just the challenge is getting the stories and presenting the players beyond the X's and O's so you can get a feeling of you know them and who they are.
And when you're launching a magazine for the first time, you need an audience to draw in, right? So no better way to get an audience than by putting Calhoun on the cover.
Oh, absolutely.
So that must have been really important to get, if not Calhoun, somebody of note to say, okay, this is legit. This is a legit magazine. Go pick it up.
No, absolutely. Coach Calhoun was very gracious in letting me interview him and presenting his side of, his story. And so I'll always be forever grateful to him. And I'm a fan of the game of basketball. And I know, when Coach Calhoun came here in 1986, it wasn't what we have today with what Coach Hurley has continued in terms of developing the success there. So I was just happy that I was able to share his story with some people who may not know the entire story.
And it's not just Jim Calhoun. There are plenty of other stories. You have down to the high school level, Riley Fox from Conard. Mm-hmm. Is there anything that really surprised you when you were putting this together?
Just the passion of the game that the athletes and the coaches have for the game. But then in addition to that, they have interest outside of basketball. So I know Riley Fox is working on developing his golf game. He wants to be a great golfer. Oh. So he loves to golf. Obviously, Coach Calhoun is a golfer as well. But just learning about who they are as people away from the game of basketball. And that's what really gets me excited. And that's why I want people to get excited about the publication, that it's not just the X's and O's. It's really understanding and getting to know who these players are and coaches and so forth.
That's so important. How long did this take to put together?
It was a labor of love, so it took some time. But once I started, it was back around in March. Once I got the interview with Coach Calhoun, everything sort of fell into place. With Coach Calhoun, I had an opportunity to go out and see where he lives and go and kind of drive around the areas where he lives and go to his favorite coffee shop where he gets coffee every morning. And actually one morning I went out there and I actually saw him. This wasn't planned. It was sort of by happenstance. I saw him in line on the drive-thru and I was able to say hi to him. He probably thought I was stalking him that day. But it does take time. But when you really love something and you enjoy it, it's like walking up the stairs. You take one step at a time. And so I'd say it took a few months or so to put it together. And I do have a team of people helping me with various aspects of it behind the scenes, but it was a labor of love.
What is it about the sport of basketball for you that you love so much?
It's just so exciting. And every game you cannot script it. Two teams could have played last week and it could have been a blowout, and this week could be a sudden death overtime game or an overtime game. So each game is different. Regardless of the players that are on the team, each game is just unique to the individual circumstances happen at that particular time.
And you played.
I did.
At Post, right?
At Post University, yeah. So I know a little bit about the game. I mean,
I'd say so.
Yeah, and I just love being around the game. It's such a fun environment to be. You're inside the elements. You don't have to worry about the elements like football or things of that nature. It's music's playing. It's just a great sports/entertainment product for fans to get involved with.
How has the game grown, particularly here in Connecticut, since you played college ball here? Because, I mean, now we have the WNBA, which is taken off like a rocket ship, right? So we brand ourselves the basketball capital of the world. How, in your mind, has that even expanded since you suited up for Post?
I think there's so much more awareness of all the teams. So, for example, if you look at Trinity College, their men's basketball team this past season made it to the Final Four.
Right.
So they had a historic season. Fairfield University, the Stags, the women's basketball team, had a historic season. I believe it was 31-2. They had a phenomenal year. They went to the NCAA tournament. They lost at Indiana. So those are just two quick stories of success. Central was knocking on the door to getting into the NCAA tournament with Patrick Sellers, who was a former coach.
Yale beat Auburn in the tournament. Yeah. So many stories.
Exactly. So UConn tends to get all of the media attention here just because of all the success that they've had with Coach Calhoun and now with Coach Hurley. But there's so many other great players and coaches here in the state. And I think that's really the biggest thing that has changed is because of there's more awareness with television and social media and so forth. You would think that there would be something like this. I have not come across any other magazine that's dedicated to basketball. So I call CT Hoops Connecticut's basketball magazine because now we have one. We're worthy of this attention because of all the success we had. So, yeah, I'm happy that there was white space, so to speak, in the market to bring out something like this for the rabid fans that we have here in Connecticut.
And it's entirely physical copy, no digital.
Physical copy right now, but in the future we may look at digital, and that's really because of the economics of it. You know, if you put everything online right now, then no one's paying for stuff, so then, I'd be a volunteer, and I don't want to be a volunteer for this. So I want to create great content that people are willing to sit back, relax, and turn off all the digital screens and just kind of fade away into the bliss that we have. That's basketball here in Connecticut.
Are you a big reader?
I love reading. I read a lot.
Probably a good thing.
Probably too much. So I just read LeBron's book. The author is Jeff Bendick, and he's based here in Connecticut, so he wrote a book about LeBron, so that was really interesting, and I'm glad that he's a local author. He also wrote the story about the Patriots dynasty. He was involved in that, as well as we had a co-author. He wrote a book about Tiger Woods, so I love reading books, and LeBron book was interesting. Right now I just started the Bill Walton book, so there's just so many books and not enough time to read them all.
You love sports biographies.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, I guess that makes sense. What are your goals with this? Where do you hope this is? When we sit and we chat this time next year and we're talking about how this has grown, where do you hope this grows?
I want it to get to a point where people know that there is a magazine here and that we have X amount of subscribers and that the magazine is sustaining and that we have advertisers or partners, as I call them, that want to promote their offerings in the magazine. I just want people to be proud that we have a rich history of basketball, and now we have a rich asset in terms of the magazine that they can take a look at on a weekly or bi-monthly basis.
So this is issue 1. When's issue 2 coming out?
Working on that right now. So this next issue may be a double issue. There's so much content that I'm working on in terms of really great stories, some really breaking stories I think that are going to be unique to this publication. So those things take time. In fact, I'm working on a story regarding a player on the Connecticut Sun, so that's going to be very timely. Got a story about the Stags, Fairfield University. I got a story about Trinity. So there's a whole bunch of stories in there that I want to be able to put together and show them in the way that is worthy of the players and the effort that they put in.
Just never-ending stories.
No.
It's why you have a magazine like this. It's CT Hoops Magazine. This is the first issue. You see Jim Calhoun on the cover, go pick it up. This is Anthony Price. Anthony, where can they find this? Where can they get it?
They can go to theminibooks.com and just go online and hit the button subscribe or get a single issue, and then you'll be connected into the basketball universe that is the capital of basketball here.
Thanks so much, Anthony.
Thank you very much.
Great to see you.
Thanks a lot.